Getting rid of every tangled matted hair is possible. We successfully detangle every head every time with patience, persistence, prayer and faith. Remember, with God all things are possible. Matthew 19:26.
Today's October, we're in the month of October 2016. We're recording a client for full head detangle services. We started actually yesterday, so we're just actually recording today. We'll update and explain what was done yesterday, the pre-prepping, and we initially tried to moisturize as much as we could, as well as get as much product in the hair as possible. We'll let the client explain why she chose to have her hair professionally detangled, and then after the client is finished, we'll come back and explain what we're doing, what we did yesterday, what we're doing today, and the process. It's probably going to be about a 2 to 3 day, if not maybe 4 day. We'll see day by day to detangle her full head. But she has lovely hair. It's thick, and I'll let the client explain why she chose to come and get her hair detangled. The professional hair detanglers, Tangled Hair Techs. Thank you.
I chose professional hair detanglers because I wanted my hair back. I went through a very lonely, sad time for about a year, and I lost interest in things that I once loved doing, like combing my hair and styling it. And I went through a process of healing and counseling, and I'm better, but I felt like the hair that it was, my tangled hair, was sort of like a ball and chain of my past pain, and I wanted it back. I wanted to be free and move on with my life. And so I went from salon to salon to salon, and it was all the same thing, you know, we need to cut it, and I just felt like I defeated myself if I was to cut my hair, and I didn't want to accept it, and luckily for me, my parents either. So we looked and just lo and behold, like, we came across the website Tangled Hair Techs, and it just seemed like this wonderful gift. And we researched, and it seemed legitimate, and we reached out, and so far it's been wonderful. Had a good experience for my first day.
Okay, so what we've done yesterday, initially when she came, everything was a mass like this. It was close together. All of this hair was in here like that. We saturated 6 bottles initially on her hair. So her hair is really, really full of takedown remover cream. Just to show you the product. This is a takedown remover cream that we use. We saturated her hair with 6 bottles of this. From there, we massaged, we wrapped it in plastic, and then we heated the hair. Then little by little, we start picking, of course, with a rat tail comb like such as this, and then as well as the ones with the metal pointy tips. So that's what we're using to pick. And then some of the thicker rat tail combs as well, thicker plastics. So from there we started picking, and with every type of matted hair, you have areas where you don't even know are like soft pockets. So when you soak the product, the takedown remover, it really helps for you to kind of open up hair little by little, not a lot. Like within here, it's still very dry, but as we start to open up here, we'll get more cream in it, it'll soften it up. So as we were picking along, all of a sudden there was a soft pocket under here. And usually you don't get the nape of the neck initially. Usually it takes time for you to kind of get the nape of the neck. But right under here, we were able to get all this beautiful hair out. So, which is good because it makes everybody happy because we're doing and moving faster than we actually expected. So we were able to get hair open here underneath. So as I'm opening it up, you can see how under here it's really, really soft. So we're able to pull some strands out more here. But the thing is, you can't pull too much because you'll break the hair, because a lot of these strands are still stuck up in this mass in here. So we'll still go back to picking and then see what we can loosen up under here. So we're kind of working two ways here. We're picking here, but because we were able to get an opening under here, we're starting to loosen the hair under here, but we're picking from here. Okay, so again, lean back for me just a little bit now. Again, here we are underneath. Here, we're going to pick. Pick here, through here, and then underneath here. All underneath here is where we're going to get most of the hair out initially as we go, because it seems to be coming out faster. All the way into the roots up under here. As you can see, even the length of the matted mass is really long, so her ends are long. We haven't even got to the new growth at the roots, which is really going to make her hair extend even further. So that's what we're going to start doing. Okay. Interestingly enough, we have ended up on this side of her hair. Here are the two knots still back here. But again, like I said earlier, when you're detangling, you never know where you're going to end up going. Like, you never know where soft pockets are going to lead you into. So I started back here with these knots, as you can see, but now I've ended up here. The hair is just sliding out. So you go where the hair movement is. We're going to get back to these knots here, but right now we've got to go where it's moving, and little by little, as we, reduce the amount of hair, we're going to make it easier for us to get in this knot. We might be able to get in the knot from the inside instead of trying to tackle it from the outside. So that's what we're doing here. So we got hair coming out. I mean, it's like I'm creeping up to the front of her head already. We've got this hair out here underneath. Again, here's another loop. It wants to come, but you don't know from where. If we pull too hard, it's going to break, so you just got to leave it alone and come back to it later. See how much hair is opened up right there? Look at all of that. And certain parts of it underneath are still kind of connected to that. Not right there, but we'll get to it. Across this top part of her hair, it's like a web of hair that a lot of these top layers of hair, the web right here, this hair is probably going to break off because you're going to have to kind of lift it up to get underneath. All of this is soft, so that'll make it easier once we get up here to get in. But definitely this top layer of webbed hair is going to break off. It's kind of like a shell. If you don't get through those hairs, you won't be able to get underneath, so whether they like it or not, you got to get through it. See how big of a chunk of hair came out of that? After, in a little while, I'm going to braid all of this hair together because you don't want this to retangle back in. I'm going with my fingers and I'm pulling, tugging on some of the hair. Some of it is coming, some of it is not. And it's actually pulling. I'm tugging here. Here's my finger tugging here. And the hair is coming from here. The hair is stuck in here. If you watch this area here, you'll see it. You'll see it sliding from there. So it's all the way over there. So you have to be careful when you're tugging. Like this loop. This loop doesn't want to go. It's half in, half out, so just we'll come back to it. And always be cautious of your client, because some clients have tougher scalps than others, and you're doing all this tugging, you can give them a headache. So always kind of check in with the client. Make sure they're okay there. See how to really get up. Beautiful, look at that. There's no system of, oh, we've just got to work with the back and then start there. No. Sometimes you've got to move. The key is just to keep moving. When you're detangling hair, the key is to keep moving. Don't get stuck in one spot. If someone's not moving, go to another area. It all connects back at the end of the day anyway. But you got to keep moving. Because that's what happens with a lot of people. When their hair gets matted, they'll get a little bit done, and it'll get to a point where it's not moving, they get frustrated and they just stop, and then, you know, they let it go for some more time. But you gotta keep moving. That's why when we start to detangle a client's head of hair, we tell them, do not start the process and stop. We can't. Once we start, we can't stop. You gotta keep going. If it's gonna take 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, you just can't stop and say, okay, I'll come back next week. It doesn't work like that. Because you start to get momentum. And there's this hair that's softening underneath that you don't even see. So if you stop, it's like taking you backwards. So it's better not to start until you can sit down for hours at a time or days at a time, or work on it every day. And if you've got to go out, you just got to cover your hair or something, you know. You can't like stay at home or come to the salon, you know, for consecutive visits. Okay, so we get to a stopping point right here. It's as far as it will let me go, because the hair is half in, half out, so we've got to stop. But we've got another good sized braid. what I'm doing right there is that I got a big loop with my finger, the big chunk, but if I tug, it's not going to come. So I'm taking the comb, just the tail part of the comb, the tip of it, and you can use the metal pencil comb as well, and just I'm pulling one strand at a time. See, one at a time. So it's the same hook affair that I've got, same loop I've got. I'm pulling one at a time. It's just slowly coming out with all the cream in there, just making it easier. As easy that is. I do one at a time. And yeah, might take 10 minutes to sit here and do this, but who's looking at the clock? You're saving one strand at a time. See, just take it right there, just like that. And sometimes the smaller strands are more easier to come out and slip out really smoothly like that. Okay. I'm pulling here, but it's stuck under there. Sometimes I'll go back and tug on that area a little bit and then come back to the loop again. Okay, we're on day number 3. We're getting ready to remove the plastic. We wrapped the hair overnight. So we had to use about 3 plastic shower caps, as you can see. And then individually we wrapped each, the netted mass is separated into 2 now. So individually we wrapped each one last night so that it could soak and absorb. We put more of the cream, the takedown remover cream on it, and we wrapped them individually. Then we put the hair around. We put 3 or 4 shower caps around it, and you can see the braid in the middle. So that's how far we got. So we've got a lot out in the middle in terms of the hair and the back. Most of the whole back of the nape of the neck is done. Our client is going to describe a little bit about how she feels so far. It's been 3 days so far, and she's hanging tough.
Yes, oh my gosh, I was so excited yesterday. I never ever expected for us to make such headway, especially when, 1 lump broke into 2. That was just, oh my gosh, that was like a glorified moment. Because that was like the very thing everyone, all the stylists from prior salons told me that could never be done. So that was always a fear coming into this, and seeing that it was totally possible, that just even made me more, optimistic and hopeful for what's to come. So I'm happy.
Great. Okay. So now we're going to take the plastic off of each matted mass, and we've got 2 people working on each. We're going to have 1 person working on each matted mass today to make it a little faster, hopefully. But if we don't finish today, definitely it'll be tomorrow, and we'll of course describe the process of what we had to do if we have to finish tomorrow, how we wrap the hair up today, to keep it still moist and saturated for tomorrow. As you can see, it's still pretty good size, the mass, but the ends, we've been able to kind of pick through the ends. So we're going to pick through again from the ends, just putting more product, picking with the rat tail combs, the metal tip comb, as well as the plastic, the different sizes. We're going to use some of the larger sizes as well. We use the plastic wrap to wrap the hair because, again, it really seals in the cream, and it helps to prevent some of the oozing out. It still happens of the oil and the cream, but the key is to keep the hair moist. That's why when you start this process, you really have to continue. You just can't start and come back next week. It's just not going to work because you're going to lose momentum. You're going to lose the moisture that's in the hair, and all the cream will dry up. So that's the mass. So we're going to start picking from there, and then we'll go and see how far we get through today. What we have here, we're working on one of the masses, but it's kind of separated into 3. As you can see, we have a loop over here, we have this area, and then we have this. When you have a situation where you have one mass that's kind of separated, it's kind of like difficult to know which one to pick on, but you just keep picking on each little section little by little, because at the end of the day, they're all going to lead up here to the top of the mass to get to the roots. Here in this particular mass, we have a split. And sometimes when you have a split like that, it looks really, really difficult in terms of how are you going to pick the hair out. And of course, you always pick out little strands little by little. But if you spread open the middle of it, you a lot of times can go in the middle and pick out little bits of hairs that are webbed in between. Like this particular mass has a lot of different loops. A lot of loops. And you might say, well, how do I get through all these loops? But again, you're just going to take the tip of the comb and tug on each loop, little pieces of it, to see if you can pull little bits of hairs out. And if you tug and no hair comes out, fine, just let it go. But a lot of times, little by little, you can loosen them up. But if you pull in between the center, just keep stretching the center of this particular split of this mass, you continue to tug and pull on, or you'll hold it kind of like a pineapple. Actually, that's a good description, a pineapple. Spread it apart like the leaves, the top of a pineapple. Spread it apart so you can see, or open them up. And then you can hold it between your hands like this so you can see right there in the middle and see what kind of hair is. See, and you can still sometimes pull strands out little by little. See, some strands will come out right there. You might only get one or two, but you just keep trying. Keep trying to spread it open. And if you can remember from yesterday, all of this hair was in a big matted clump like this. It was in a big hard clump. So we freed that clump. So the thickness and the amount of hair in this mass, we might end up having to detangle 3 different sections in this mass, but it's okay. But remember, you never know how, once you detangle a big knot, how it's going to end up being and how it's going to unravel out. So don't feel as if, oh God, I've destroyed the hair. No, it's a lot of hair that's knotted up in one. So if it splits into 3 or 4, it's okay. Just each one, little by little, you separate. And again, you just keep tugging on little loops. Because really the hair is just curled up. It's like a long strand of hair that's just looped up in. So you just gotta pull little by little on each loop until eventually you get the whole loop out. On each strand in each loop, rather. Some will be easier than others. And then also, you flip it over. Look on the back side. You can see all these different loops. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you can get them easier on the back side. See, like that one, was able to get that one. When I was trying to do it from the front, couldn't do it. See how easy those are popping out? So just flip it over. You know, there's no, again, no one way. The key is to get the strands out. So I got a few of those out. When you're doing this, always speak good things to the hair. Never say, oh God, this is just taking forever. Oh, this hair of mine is just unbearable. No, Be grateful at every point. Oh, I'm so grateful. Look at my beautiful hair that's coming loose, that's unraveling. I'm getting such good success. Just try to force yourself to speak positive to your hair. And it'll just make it easier. Oh, the tangles are getting better today. They're coming out easier today. Always try to have a positive attitude when you're doing this, because believe me, every part of your body responds to good words. Your mind responds to good words. So definitely your hair is going to respond to good words. There's no need for being more negative to the hair and, bashing it as you detangle. Just continue to be thankful and see every step that you get through as a great and wonderful blessing towards the big success of completely freeing your hair from being matted or somewhat bondage. So this is just to show you how within one lump that's been separated, you can still have other little other separations that you can make just from one mass. So you don't feel overwhelmed that mass is going to be too hard to get out. No, sometimes you have to break that one down. And when you get to you have a split, just see it and separate it again, kind of like a pineapple, the top of a pineapple. Just spread it out, try and get to the center of it, and then hold it back, hold some of the hair back, and then just pick. And you still have webs, like there's still webs in here trying to keep this together. And again, some of those, the web hairs that create that shell, they're going to break off. And that's okay, that's normal. Just pick them out and take it little by little. Okay, we've separated one big mass, at least to look like this. But now we've gotten some of the hair out. We separated into two. She's working on one half. And it's easier a lot of times when you can separate a large mass into two faster, and also you can kind of see better within the clump of the hair. So that's what we're doing now. We're just finishing up this one. But remember, we started out like this big lump over here. See, that's how it looked originally. Now it looks like two separate small lumps, plus we have a little bit of hair out of it. And this braid here is what we did yesterday. We're definitely going to have a day 4 because it took us almost 4 to 5 hours actually about 3 to 4 hours just to do this one side. So this side, we'll probably need another 4 hours again just for this one. This ponytail used to look like this. It used to look like this massive sculpture of hair, matted hair. This ponytail that we're shaking here used to look like this. It's possible. You know, it's really possible. Even as a tech, I have to like grasp that this is where we started from. When I'm shaking her ponytail, like literally, like she's gonna be flopping her hair in front of somebody's face by tomorrow, literally. And here she'd be slapping somebody with this, hurting somebody with this massive sculpture of hair. But it's possible. It really is possible to have her hair back. client decided to allow her strenuous, tedious, a bit monotonous, a bit painful, intense detangle session to be recorded these past 3 days and tomorrow, 4th day, for a reason. Ma'am, could you please just reiterate why you decided to go through this process of allowing others to see your hair being detangled?
Sure. So, like I said previously, I was going through a very, very difficult, hard time, and I felt really alone in this process. I really didn't want to believe that because of my own suffering, I would have to give up my hair. I definitely felt defeated, thinking that was a possibility. I went through my, as a part of my healing, I went through counseling, and I wanted to save my hair. I felt guilty about letting it get to such a state, and I wanted, to do whatever means necessary to say that it was like she said, it was a tedious process because I visited multiple salons, and it was the same answer. No, this isn't possible. Just cut it. And it was demoralizing. It really was. But I had to believe there was something out there, and luckily, really, really fortuitously, I came upon Tangled hair techs on their website, and it at first, of course, it seemed too good to be true. I mean, here's this thing I've been searching for a year, and it's finally here. So I researched it because I really couldn't entertain another disappointment, and it turned out to be legitimate, and the principles seemed sincere enough. So I followed through with it, and this has got to be the best decision of I wouldn't say my life, but definitely of this year. I'm so happy and thrilled with the service, and I really have no complaints. It's been a wonderful adventure, and the techs, they really do their best to accommodate you, to make you feel comfortable, to make you feel beautiful. And the fact that they believe in what they do and they believe in who you are, there's absolutely no judgments passed. It's an open, free space, and you will blossom here. And the process is it can be trying because you are sitting here day after day, but just imagine the possibilities of when they're finished. Like, you get yourself back. And I think that alone is like worth everything. So thank you guys.
You're truly welcome. We will continue detangling this other side, and once it's finished, of course you will see that. And then again tomorrow, as we said earlier, we will continue this side to complete her whole head, and then of course we'll shampoo and blow dry, and then she'll have to begin a process of strengthening her hair, deep conditioning treatments, and just loving her hair again and being thankful, because a lot of times we forget that we should be thankful for all things, no matter what, even experiences that we have that aren't very pleasant, because it teaches us and we learn from it, we grow from it, we get strong from it. This part right here that we've opened up, now it kind of looks like a pancake. It was kind of like all wrapped together with the hair, but we've kind of opened it up, and we're actually picking from the inside. This is the outside of it, the outer layer, but we're actually digging in from the inside and making it weak to pull the hairs out little by little from the inside. And most people try to attack a matted mask just from the outer layer, but there's no one way to get in. The key is just to get into the knot however you can, and then just work from there. And even we could still try and flip it over and work on the outer layer, but it's easier to get the hair from the inside out. So focus on where the hair is easier to move out, because the goal is just basically to reduce the knot, not to just go one way and focus on, well, you know, typically a knot is broken up from the outer layers. No, sometimes you can get in from the inside as well. So that's what we're doing now. We're just breaking it down, and we have a smaller one here than this one. Okay, we're here today, day 4, our last day. We have detangled. Of course, this is like day 1, day 2. This is what we did yesterday, day 3. Initially, of course, a lump looked like this yesterday. And we, of course, combed through that. And this is the braid of the hair that was detangled through. So we're going to finish this today, comb through this, and then shampoo, and then she'll be free to start and get her hair trimmed and move forward. Last night we still saturated some more before we wrapped up this Tangled mask here. We soaked some more of the takedown remover cream on it and wrapped it again so that it could marinate and saturate through a little bit more overnight to make it easy for us today. And once you put this product on, it makes the mask even heavier. So it's really good that you try to work on it consecutively. Well, actually, just even if you're going to take breaks, let's say you're going to do it maybe for 5 hours, 3 hours a day, or whatever. Just try to make sure you keep the momentum going, even if you're going to work 3 hours a day, because the mask is going to be much, much more heavier with all the cream you're putting in and soaking in overnight. And that can add to more irritation if the mask is already heavy and irritating you anyway. So make sure you just continue to detangle. Because if you put all this product in and say, okay, I'm going to come back and finish next weekend, you're going to just do it every weekend, what are you going to do during the week? Are you going to rinse all this product out, which causes more issues because now you've wet the hair, now it's got all this cream in it, you're wasting product. It's like a big cycle. You're just running around in a cycle, in a cycle that's not going to even make sense, because you're putting product in, you're rinsing it out, you're wetting the hair, which is a big no-no. It's not going to really dry. So just don't start this process until you can actually plan out 3 to 4 consecutive days of working on your hair. Even if it's for a few hours at a time, even if it's not a whole day of 5 to 6 hours, but at least every day. Just as the mask yesterday, as you can notice, it separates even within itself. You got another separation of kind of like 1, 2, 3. Which actually makes it easier for the techs, because 2 or 3 people, well not 3, but 2 people can kind of work on one mask like this, because each one can take a side. But even if one individual person is doing it, just pick a side to work on, and then come back, leave that one alone, go to the next one, even though you're still in the same mask. And again, you lift up the hair strands like this. You lift them up. And then you pick. We are finally finished. Thank God. In the name of Jesus, we are finished. It's been 4 days of a lot of strain and joy and pain on the client. As you can see the hair, we haven't shampooed yet, but we just wanted to show what we've done. She's going to have to definitely get a good trim, and you can see at the ends how they are. She's got a lot of split ends. The middle, no bald patches, as you can see. Her scalp is a little red, of course, and that's normal. It's been tugged on for 4 days. It hasn't been used to that, so it's normal to be a little red, but she's been using peppermint oil just kind of to soothe the scalp. But this is it. Ma'am, would you like to say anything?
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. I'm really happy and I'm so grateful. Thank you. And we always suggest that you wash the first wash to get a lot of the takedown remover out with a 2-in-1 shampoo, a conditioning shampoo, a 2-in-1, so that you won't have to do a lot of combing with the conditioner. Of course, you do have to comb the shampoo through, but at least, because the scalp is going to be really sore and you don't want to do a lot of brushing and combing, you just want to comb the shampoo through. If you do use a conditioning shampoo, 2-in-1, that kind of helps kill two birds with one stone. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then you can go ahead and just give your scalp a chance to relax and breathe and go from there.